I want my education minister not to tell problems, because he didn't solve a single problem there. I gave him problem solution. I said, start with 1%. Don't do 100%. You see what the solution is. I told the education secretary, and I actually said to Anshu Vast exactly the same thing. I said, I'm so glad to see you become Secretary Government of India. But I, as a citizen, want you to become Education Secretary of India. And she didn't know what to say. Because she said, my job is to be Secretary, MHRD, School Education. I said, no, become Education Secretary of India, because I look at you as a leader. But they won't become that, because that is not how they think. I go to another Principal Secretary of Education. If my child can play with this, I said, it's not meant for your child, because your child is spoiled because he used the wrong thing. He used a PC. It's designed for another world. What do you do in that situation? I said, this is meant for villages. One joint secretary, woman joint secretary tells me, everybody's internet these days. Internet? I said, everybody? How many do we have? Somebody said 30 million. I said, what's the population of India? She said, I wasn't talking about rural India. Joint secretary who makes policies doesn't talk about rural India. That is the India we live in. Responding to Peter's questions. Yes, when it breaks down, there's a problem of maintenance. But we designed it as maintenance free. A child can repair it. But if a screen breaks because I broke it, you have to replace the screen. So what do I do? If there are 10,000, I expect, you know what I do? The 1,000, I put another 20 there. Children can repair it, except if screen breaks, then I have to have 20 extra screens lying somewhere, because repair the screen as well. But I said, I'll give a 24-hour turnaround time. Something breaks, you tell me, I send a new one. I take that one, you repair it in 24 hours, I have lying with me. You create a model. There should be no solution which is handed down to me as a 100% perfect solution. Please let me have problems so I can think. I don't want a society which doesn't even have problems to think about. That said, I appreciate the fact that you said overall the positive. I have given it to 20 schools. I personally donated to many because India wasn't buying, except Manipur that paid with its own state money. And I didn't even go to Manipur. My classmate happened to be chief secretary. He said, I'll do it. That's how it happens. It happens not because people are thinking. It happens because you know somebody. But I want you to decide, Mr. Minister, because your job is, you're not accountable that I, the Ramdeen 5-year-old, you took my future away. And you have no penalty for that. Every year, 20 million children are being denied a future because my education minister, he thinks of his Maharani Bagh house. He can't see beyond that. How do I handle that? How can I make my government accountable to denying me my future? Question is that, anyway. Because I'm the same Ramdeen. So this was designed for me, the Ramdeen, to become the best in the world. I went to Harvard because I was lucky. I went to MIT, I was lucky. Not because I had anything else. At 24, somebody said, you become CEO. I became a CEO. I had no qualification. He liked my face, put me there. I was lucky. I was plain, simple, lucky kid who came from 100 rupees a month incomes. And suddenly, Ramnath Goenka decided, I founded Jansatta newspaper at 24 years of age. And I put that as a first screen-based newspaper. Idea was this. I was always questioning things. If you create India of questioning people, they'll create new things. This helps you question things. This doesn't let you learn rote. There's a man called Madhav Chavan. I'm very upset with him. He founded Pratham. Pratham is the biggest hindrance in India's progress. You ask me how. Pratham says that Government of India says that education at your age 1, 5 years age, you should know so much, 6, know so much, 7, so much, after 1 year, 2, 3. I said, when was it designed? 1950. I said, if you know all that Government of India told you, 1950, you should know by after 10 years of schooling, how good you will be in 2010 or 2020. But because Pratham succeeded, so they can't see beyond Pratham. Every successful experiment of the past is a hindrance to the future. I don't want this to become the hindrance to the future. But as of today, whenever I go and look at it, because I have given to about 1,000 students, I have seen one thing. NASSCOM chief once had a conference, and there was a project manager who earned 4,000 rupees in villages. His wife had passed away. He brought his 4 years old daughter. She was the only one in a group of 300 people. and I had the laptop. So we said, well, let her play with the laptop. Then there was a lady who was the CEO of NASCOM Foundation. She said, let me do one thing. Let me put a video camera so that I know what's happening. This girl, 4-year-old, had never been to school, kept playing without any teacher, without any guidance, and in the end, battery ran out, and she picked up some pencil and began doodling on paper. Whatever she did doesn't matter. What's important is she began doodling. And that is the way you begin learning. Idea was very simple. All children are born geniuses. Society works very hard to dumb them down. And because we believe that we know better, so we push them. I think the entire pedagogy that we talk about is suspect to begin with because its age is old. One chief secretary retired. He was my neighbor. I was in N150 Panchsheel Park. He was my neighbor. He saw me. Mr. Jha, I want to ask you for one advice. I said, what? My granddaughter has got admission at Stanford, and I want to come talk to you about it. I said, fine. Chai. Over tea, he said, what should she study? I said, great question. Let's look at this way. When were you chief secretary, sir? Okay. When did computers come? 83, 84? In 82, did you know they're coming? No. When did cell phones come? 95, 96. In 94, did you know they were coming? No. How long will it take your daughter to study at Stanford? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? You didn't know the next year, damn it. How will you know 7 years later? I said, every child is closer to the future than you are and I am. Every child. Every child processes information about future better than you and I do, which concerns them, that is. They won't process the information that concerns me as well as the one that relates to them. They chart, if my father had wanted me to have any career, I'll be Secretary Education India and ruining the education of India. I'm sorry, I'll be an IAS officer, I'll be collector somewhere, commissioner somewhere, chief secretary, perhaps I'll be made some kind of secretary. And many of my friends have retired as secretaries. One of my friends became Education Secretary of India. Now he was very happy to become Vice Chancellor after being Secretary Government of India Education. And he's retiring. Then he wrote to me 2 days ago, I have one unfinished business that I haven't invited you to come to my institution. And I want you to come in the next 60 days, anytime you choose. But the point is, he said, because you're doing something which took me 3 years to understand that is so important for laying the foundation of India's future. My point is, India's education today, higher education, is kind of castle of education, which is being built on the bamboo scaffoldings of primary school education. My friend Shantanu Prakash will tell you, there is a national emergency on education in India. Because 95% people are being denied the right. Just think of it this way. What is ROI in education? If I, the same Ramdeen, I'm the same Ramdeen because my father earned the same 90 rupees a month. If I had not been a rebel, I won't be standing here in front of you. If I had not been a rebel, I won't earn $1 million annual salary and then give it up. And today I earned zero. For the last 3 years, I have earned zero and burnt my money to promote this because I believe in it. Because I'm the same child who is every child. That's the beauty of it all. Thank you.